afford to pay his rent, but he can afford to go to the tanning bed and buy all his necessary vitamins and all that. And it's something we can all relate to, but didn't leave me feeling like real happy. It kind of left me feeling, I don't know, kind of in shock, kind of in awe, kind of depressed. I actually went down and talked to Mickey Rourke and to the director after the movie. And, I told the director, I said, hey, thanks for diminishing all of my life's dreams to a pile of rubbish. That's what it felt like. It felt like the message of this movie, if there was one, is that pursuing a dream to be a pro wrestler is completely meaningless. That's kind of what came across. And I don't think that's necessarily what they intended, but from that limited perspective of being inside the box of that particular story, a has-been that's not going to be again, that's wrestling in the small little promotions, and that's all they showcase. I'm very anxious to get everyone else's feedback on it.
Great stuff. What's your take on the other documentaries about wrestling, like Beyond the Mat and The Secrets of Wrestling? Do you think they take something away from wrestling, or do you think that they shed light on what wrestling really is, or do you think they should never have been made altogether?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Beyond the Mat. When they were making that, is it Barry Bluestein that made it? Barry, I get a couple of Barrys mixed up. Anyway, I think it was Barry Bluestein, but they were in the ECW dressing rooms trying to interview people, and that, especially, that was before anybody had done that. We would kick them out of the dressing room every day. Their project was totally sabotaged. I know of some wrestlers that would take their tapes, their video footage and destroy it or hide it in holes in the walls, and we thought that they were coming in to our business to open up what is a secret, protective inside business and try to expose it for something it's not, to discredit it, to get disrespect from everyone on the outside. And we were totally offended by it. I mean, it's a real protective business, not so much as it used to be. And a lot of that, I think, is because of Beyond the Mat. I think that was the first one to really, really showcase the wrestlers inside and out of the ring and let people see that they're actual real people with real lives and real families. And I'll tell you, after I saw the movie, I was so impressed by it that I wished that I would have been a bigger part of it, because I had opportunities. They wanted to interview me and stuff, and fuck no, I didn't want anything to do with it. I was on the wrestler side. Like, get these fucking cameras out of here. And after I saw the movie, I was so impressed by it that I actually went with the director. I went with him to like Long Beach College to actually talk to the students and to promote the movie and do like Q&As with them, because I thought he did such a good job. I don't know that other one you're talking about, Secrets of Wrestling or whatever, but I will tell you this. I, having been in the business for almost 20 years, I find myself constantly disagreeing with everybody who thinks they know what wrestling is, even other wrestlers, because I still have to hear so many people outside the business say, well, I mean, I know it's all scripted and everything. I even hear wrestlers that are in the business talking about, well, I mean, they know that it's scripted, so this and that. And here I am, being in the business for almost 20 years, saying, what the fuck is a script? I've never seen a script. I haven't wrestled any scripted matches. Why am I arguing with other wrestlers that should know what I fucking know? And the more professional you are, the less you need to worry about what's going to happen when you get in the ring, So many times I've met a wrestler in the ring, like in Japan, I've met the guy in the ring who doesn't speak the same language as me. You don't need to, you don't need to fucking go through all that. All's preparation is extra stress. Ask anybody who's wrestled me, and they should all tell you, because I'm very consistent. I don't want to see anybody until I go out there to the ring. If you got something to say to me, maybe right before I go out there, maybe I can talk to you a little bit. But I don't need all that shit, and neither does anybody else. That's not the way I got trained. That's not my perspective of what the business is.
I understand what you're saying there. I have a lot of young amateur wrestlers and high school wrestlers come up to me all the time, and they know I interview people like you and whatnot, and they're always asking me, is wrestling fake? And I don't even know what possesses them to think that. You guys go out there, you bust your asses and everything. And I mean, if they're an amateur wrestler, they're obviously trying to make it into the professional scene, so they've got to be prepared for what comes to them. So going around thinking that it's fake is not necessarily the right way to get into the business.
No, and I love to tackle that argument too. And again, even with other wrestlers. Now, I can hit that from so many different angles, and they're all me. I'm speaking the truth. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not trying to cover up and protect. But I'll tell you, wrestling, pro wrestling, is an art form. Okay, and it's an art just like a martial art. Let's say that you're a boxer, and when I throw a jab at you, you are trained, brainwashed in such a way to where you are going to bob and weave, you're going to slip that punch, because that's what you do. You go through the training so much to where that's what's natural for you. Now, if you're in judo and I throw a punch, you may grab my arm and you may hip throw me. If you're in karate, you may block it, deliver another punch, whatever, but you go through a certain art and you get trained to do things a certain way. Wrestling is no different. People say, oh, yeah, but if you throw someone off the ropes, they're not going to bounce back. Well, yes, they are. If that's the art and that's what you're trained to do, then you have certain ways you do things, and within those perimeters, you have your match. I actually had to argue with Pee-wee, the old referee from the original ECW. He was arguing with me one time saying, yeah, but you couldn't, anybody could really stop if you threw him against the ropes. And I said, well, Pee-wee, depending on how strong you're throwing against the ropes, these ECW ropes are actual cable, not nylon rope, but steel cable that's run through a rubber hose. I said, bro, if I threw you with my weight and you hit that, it would send you back across the ring. No, no way, I could grab it. I said, you're kidding me. So I grabbed Pee-wee, and I squatted down to drop my ass into the weight. Wham! I threw him into the ropes. He hit them, and he flew across the ring. Wait, let me try again. I threw him again. He flew across the ring. He rebounded off those ropes so hard he couldn't even grab them. I had to prove a point to him. I'm like, dude, what else do I have to do to you to get you to understand you're going to bounce off those ropes, And he didn't believe it until I did it to him. But here's something else that totally will help people understand. Hulk Hogan's Championship Celebrity Wrestling. Celebrity Championship Wrestling, however you say it. WWE, from what I understand, is upset because they think that this show is exposing the business and whatever. And again, here's the thing. We got celebrities, and they're taught like 3 moves on a show. You're taught an arm drag, a hip toss, a body slam. That's your 3 moves. Now they have to go out and compete in front of a live audience, and they get judged on how well they get those moves in, how well they interact with the crowd, how comfortable they are in the ring, all that. And somebody gets voted off every week. So now what they're exposing is that even though these actors are just out there in a choreographed match, and they're pretending that they're wrestlers, that's all it is. What's wrong with that? They're pretending they're wrestlers. They're not saying they could have a match like RVD versus Balls Mahoney. Fuck no. But they're out there performing. And what is exposed is that, guess what? Even if these actors have a little choreographed match and they're out there working together, guess what? It really is competition, because they don't want to get voted off, because they want to do the best. They want to impress the promoters. They want to impress the people in the stands. They want to impress everybody because they want to make it to the top position. They want to stay on the show to the very end, and they want to get that main event money. They want to get paid. Well, guess what? That's competition. Same thing in wrestling. Same thing in wrestling. I'm in the ring with somebody. I don't care if it's my best friend or someone I can't stand. My competition level is that I want to get ahead. I want everyone to be glad that they bought a ticket to see me. I want the promoters to look at me and say, like, wow, there's a lot of money in RVD. Guess what? That's business, and we are fucking competing for that,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I also put it this way. Let me add this too. If I'm in a street fight, if you're to attack me on the street, I'm going to end the fight as quickly as I possibly can. And it's not going to be pretty. I'm not going to be doing jumping, flipping, spinning kicks. I might grab your eyeball and rip your throat out. I don't know, but depending on the circumstance. But that's a real fight. Your goal is to end it as quickly as possible. Now, with pro wrestling, they have an opposite goal. You go out there with somebody. It could be someone you like, you hate, someone you don't know, but your goal is to go out there at the expense of your body and the other guy's body. Your goal is to go out there for 15 minutes. or 20 minutes. Go out there and entertain the crowd. So you can't knock a guy out. That's the last thing that you want to do. Although, if you watch a lot of my matches, you may see that that I knocked several guys out anyway. But now I understand that's not what you want to do. And so you have a different goal. So you're out there, and the entertainment is the main goal there. So that's the perspective of someone who's been all the way to the top and has been doing this for almost 20 years.
Well, Rob, we called you up to respect you, and hopefully we will not jump you in an alley, and you will not rip our eyeballs out. And just so you know, in 2004, when I went to a WB event, I bought your shirt. So
Right. Appreciate that.
Way to support. Oh yeah, I saw you.
I bet the ladies were flocking. Were the ladies flocking as soon as you put that on?
I don't know about that. I really don't. I saw you do the
It's
5-star frog. I saw you do that 5-star frog splash, and I don't know who came up with that. What's the inspiration behind that thing?
I used to do the split-legged moonsault for my finishing move. It was a move that I came up with way before my first match even. I said, I wonder if I could do the splits, bounce off the top rope in the corner, do a backflip on my opponent. And it was pretty, and no one had seen it before. And people say, oh, I want to see your